Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I thought I'd cover 5 trading mistakes that pretty much everyone else has made and that new players might fall for the most, so you can learn to avoid them and you can also relate to everybody else who's probably already done these. Reading through the list of what I'm about to say, I have pretty much done every single one of them, so that's cool. And if you haven't done any of these things, then you can laugh at me because I've done all of them. The first mistake I'm going to be talking about is the fact that not everybody knows the value of their items as they are just starting out. Obviously, just getting into the world of trading, you're not going to know every single website you can use, and you're not going to know the value of all of your items straight away. So you won't know that some hats are worth a little bit more than others. You might not know that keys aren't actually worth 5 weapons. You might offer it to a bunch of people and then get confused when they say no because you thought the weapons are great, but they're not worth much. And to this, honestly, backpack.tf is your best trading friend. I'm not sponsored by them at all to say something like this, but they are the best site for pricing your items and figuring out what everything you own is worth and if you're getting a good deal or not, basically. I definitely used to fall for this one a lot because I just had no idea what any of my items were worth. So I'd sometimes trade a hat for like a couple of weapons that I wanted, even though the hat was worth about... I can't even do the maths in my head, but it was worth a lot more than the weapons I got. So you're always going to want to check backpack.tf when you're trading. The second mistake that everybody seems to make is not knowing that uncraftable items are most of the time a different price from the regular items. I think a lot of people get confused about this one because some people, instead of saying uncraftable, they say dirty, which also makes sense and is also the right term. But if something is uncraftable or dirty, normally the value of it is actually less because, you know, they can't use it to craft another hat if they wanted to. You've got that little thing underneath it, the little text saying that it's uncraftable, which doesn't look very nice. And just in general, they are valued at less because they are uncraftable. I'm not saying it's the same with every item because there are some dirty items that are worth a lot of money, a lot more than regular ones, but they are like very, very rare and you won't come across those very often. I'd still check every time you've got one just in case it might be a little bit more or a little bit different pricing, but most of the time uncraftable items are going to be worth less than the regular ones. So if you're being offered dirty hats, don't take them. Another mistake that a lot of people seem to make is using the Manco store. Now, this could be whether you're buying all of your items from there or, you know, you're using them as prices. I see a lot of people doing this. A load of people use the Manco store to base their prices of their items. I've had so many people come up to me in my trading, I guess you could call it career, but I've had so many people come up to me saying that a weapon that they're trying to offer me is worth like $2.40. And I'm like, there's no way that a weapon is worth that much. It's literally worth a cent. You've paid $2.40 for it because you're an idiot. Like, this isn't my problem, I'm not fixing it for you. Okay, maybe you're not an idiot, you might not have known that it was worth that, but you don't price items ever from the Manco store. Keys, I guess maybe, but everything else, definitely not. I've made a video about why the Manco store scams you on everything but keys, so there'll be a link to that somewhere if you want to check it out. But like I said out with a lot of videos and then never actually link them, so if there's not one there, then you're gonna have to Google it, I'm sorry. So this next mistake is probably the one that's had the biggest effect on me because it's made me lose the most value, it's taken the most time to fix, and it was just the most annoying, probably. And that is buying unpriced unusuals. So I don't know how many of you guys will have even been around at the time that this trading series was happening, but partway through one of my trading series, I don't remember if it was like the first Revolver to Riches or my first ever trading series, I bought a Dead President's Dr. Sack when Dead Presidents were still fairly new, I feel like, or I don't really remember. But it was unpriced, and there was some rough estimations of what the price was. There wasn't many suggestions of it at all, not many sales for this hat whatsoever, and I still bought it. This thing took me 2 months to sell, and even when I did sell it, I lost like 10, 15 keys on it, which after having it for like a month and a half or 2 months, you know, is not awful because you just want to get rid of it at that point. But there was no chance I was ever going to get what I paid for that hat. Like, as soon as I made the trade, I knew I was pretty much screwed. Another big thing about unpriced unusuals is that if there's not many price suggestions or nobody's even trying to buy it or sell it anywhere, probably stay away from it because it's going to take you a long time to sell if you have no idea what you're doing. Every day trying to trade that hat, I just imagined that guy who I made the trade with laughing at me because I was such an idiot. Just be careful when trading unusuals because a lot of the time the most random hats can mess you up. So the final point of this video, the final mistake that people seem to make is rushing their trades. Now this is going to link in with something a little bit later, but rushing trades is a big thing. If you are trying to get a trade done as quickly as possible, you will not be thinking about everything going on in the trade. Somebody might say that an item is of a certain value, and because you're rushing, you're just going to believe them. You're not going to check it yourself, even if you know the item's probably not worth that. You're going to be like, it might have changed by then, but still, like, a lot of the time it can cause to some massive mistakes. And the second part of this is people fall for obvious scams, and a lot of the things that scammers do is rush people so they don't think too much about the trade as they're making it, because if you think about it too much, you'll realize that, wait, hold up, none of what I'm giving is worth anything they're giving. So, you know, I'm being ripped off here. So if somebody is trying to rush you in a trade, just still take your time. They might be pressuring you into doing it quickly, but they'll stay for as long as the trade is happening, unless they genuinely do have to leave and they're not scamming you, in which case they will probably leave. But most people, if they are maybe even scammers, they will stay the whole time because they don't care how long it takes. They want your stuff. I've had people tell me that they need to leave in 5 minutes, and then half an hour later we're still talking and they're still trying to rush me, and I'm like, look, I'm taking my time, I'm figuring out this trade and you're trying to rip me off, so see ya. I think the main way to avoid all of these mistakes is to just be careful, do your research, trade smart. It's hard, I guess it's really easy to say, yeah, just be smart, but actually watching YouTube videos about certain aspects of trading, reading about certain aspects of trading, and getting experience in other certain aspects of trading is really important and will serve you so much better than just jumping into a trading server and seeing what happens. I'm probably not going to suggest my trading guides because they're quite old now, but I know there are so many out there on YouTube that you can follow that will be updated and will actually help you out a lot. So anyway, that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure you leave a like on it. It's going to help me out a lot. Even though likes don't do anything, I love seeing that you guys enjoy my videos. Also leave a comment if you felt like it, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you don't miss more videos like this one. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.